are you doing? You're screwing around. He also is not feeling so great. All right, now you got a warm belly full of milk, okay? Are you waiting to be fed? I'm not moving fast enough. Good morning. I am gonna just bottle feed these kids. We were working on that shed all day yesterday and I didn't get a chance to try to get them on a bucket. I have to get it out and clean it up and stuff, so that's on the list of things to do today. Yes, I'm coming to feed you. So I also am gonna turn off the hot box today. It's a pretty mild day, and now that most of these kids are several days old, they don't really need it. We just had some really cold nights and we're having 8 to 10 kids born a day, and I wanted to give them somewhere warm to go, but they don't need it anymore. Everybody's doing really well. We've got a handful of newbies, but now that there's enough kids, they kind of like lay in a pile like that. They just find a group of other kids and lay together to stay warm, and that helps a lot when just as long as they're together. Now I'm stuck with 2 singles, which is kind of a bummer. I was at exactly 200% for this entire kidding until my last 2 does. So Lotus here actually had 3, and then 1 was stillborn, and the other one I had to euthanize because it had some intestines coming out of its stomach where its umbilical cord was. So, and then this last one, this last yearling here, just had a single. So now I'm not quite at 200%, but it's still an honorable number. We'll see how many they wean. Yeah, your baby's in the pen there. No. I cannot believe how much you kids look like your grandma. I don't know if you can see, yeah, this doe off to the side here. Her mom was one of our 2 original does, and the faces on her kids, like their grandma was a traditional and they're black-headed traditionals, but like their faces look just like grandma. Like, I don't know how to explain it, how they can look that much like her as kids, but they do. They look just like her. I definitely need to get you 2 on a bucket. You're kind of annoying. You're annoying. Hello, sweet pea. How are you? What are you doing? You're screwing around. I'll get the bucket cleaned out and get you on a bucket. All right, the last ounce, it's yours. Oh, little buddy. I'm kind of looking at this guy while I'm feeding. He's got a little bit of a snotty nose, and you're kind of scrunched up. This guy seems kind of scrunched up and he's got some kind of harsh breathing. He's a little snotty. So I'm going to give him a full exam. All right, 102. That's not bad. For sure you're gonna get some Aloxicam to help you feel better. So this little guy's got entropion, so I'm gonna put some ointment in it. I flipped it a couple times already this morning, and I think it might end up, this one might end up needing penicillin in that packet. So I'm just gonna put some ointments in there to kind of lube up the eye and keep it from doing too much damage, because you can tell his eye's already really scratched up from it. And I'll check it a couple times throughout the day and see how quick it's flipping back. It's staying now, so. He also is not feeling so great, so we've had a couple days of really kind of cruddy weather now. Excuse me. We'll just take her temperature. Okay. 103.1. So she's on the high side. She's on the high side of normal. So I'll take it again in a couple hours. She doesn't look like crap. I mean, you can tell she's got a little bit of a cold, but I'm less likely to treat her because she doesn't really seem too bad. I hate to just throw antibiotics at them if they don't need it. And if they don't have a fever, a lot of times they can work through it. If I remember correctly, I think she had a little bit of like crud, like from the time she was born. She had a little fluid in her lungs. So it's gonna take her some time to get over that, but it could be incubating into a bacterial infection. Like, I don't think it's viral for her. So I'm gonna treat 2 of these 3 kids that have a little bit of a respiratory thing going on. The one doesn't really have a high temp, but feels like total crap. So I've already given him some meloxicam for some pain relief, and just to make him start feeling better. If they don't feel better, they're not gonna nurse. I did weigh him and he has fallen back a bit because he's only up 0.1 of a pound from his birth weight, and he's already like 4 days old. So definitely not gaining anything. And I weigh him to get an accurate dosage. And then the other one I'm gonna treat. That one it's on the high side of normal, but it's got a really good rattle, and I just don't want it to progress anymore because I can see it rising towards that elevated temp. I'm gonna just go ahead and treat it. I don't like to throw antibiotics at them. Sorry, that was the cat in the way. I don't like to throw antibiotics at them if I don't have to. But I also don't want to wait too long because it's harder to treat the longer you wait. You helping? You gonna keep an eye on him? So traditionally, anytime I treat something, they get a little blue mark on their butt, right on the tail. 2 reasons. 1, I know I treated them, and 2, it's just a really quick visual for me and my husband to keep an eye on him. If he comes in here and there's one that doesn't look good and it's already got a blue butt, he knows that I've already dealt with it or that I'm monitoring it. But if he sees one that doesn't look good, that's not marked, then he knows that he's got to tell me about it and that he should go find the tag number so that I can take a look at it and figure out what's going on. A lot of times I'll put in my phone right away, or if I don't have my phone on me, I just like write it on the wall, like in pen, so I don't forget the tag number and what I gave him. Oh, I'm sorry. Does that sting a little? And we're going to give you a little pain relief too. There we go. Your box is going off. Nobody needs that anymore. They'll still all like lay in it, and it'll keep them warm just having that many kids crammed in there with their body temperature. But they don't need it that warm. I do have kind of a design in my head of one I want to make. Basically, it would be in 3 pieces and like disassemble, but it's something I'd put along a wall, and then it would have holes for heat lamps. that would be longer and then have a little more ventilation on top so it wouldn't get too warm. And then also that way the does could look in there. I think part of the problem with this creep area is that the does can't see in there and it bothers them. So some of them will stand outside the pen and scream at them. And a lot of times the kids come out when their moms call them. And some of them are naughty and they don't come out. And then the does get pissed. And then I wouldn't have to have a creep pen around it. The other problem is like building something that the does can't like stand on top and then also can't get to the cords of the heat lamp. So I've got some ideas in my head, but I don't have it quite perfected yet. I've got Lotus out of her corner pen and then I put the one from last night in there. We'll keep this set up and I'll give her a day. I do keep a pen always set up anyway in case I need to separate somebody because they're sick or whatever reason. It's just easier to leave it set up. But we'll get this one taken down so they have a little more room, and then I will get them let out so they can have access to their grain for the day. I was gonna help this little guy nurse, but the doe's being uncooperative, so I'm gonna halter her up just so I know that he's eating something, and if he doesn't nurse, I might actually just tube him. He really feels like crud, so I don't think he's drinking. This is your baby. There we go. He's just not feeling good at all and has zero desire to suck. So before he slides back too much, I'm going to tube him and hope that meloxicam kicks in. I'd take a little intermission from this because Robert was moving the cattle into the pasture and putting a round bale up there, and he forgot to close the gate behind him. So when he let the cattle into this pasture, they all ran down. And I'd hop the fence and keep them from getting out. Alright, now you got a warm belly full of milk, okay? I am sometimes shocked how far gone a kid can be, and you put them on Draxxin and 24 hours later you still think, this is it, they're gonna die. And all of a sudden you wake up the next morning and they're up and jumping around. It really is truly amazing, like how they can bounce back sometimes. Should we tuck you back in your bed? I've got an extra pen set up in the barn. I need to get these bucklings in the barn for a couple days. I'm taking them to the auction barn in 4 or 5 days, and I just need them like out of the mud to slough some of that off so they look nice and clean, so I can curry comb them out before the sale. So Hopefully they follow me. So I've got those bucklings on that half of the pen. This is the breeding group that I just did. And then the mature bucks are outside. So we've got those all sorted out. Oh, good morning. I am not dressed for this weather. I'm just coming out here to get these bottle kids fed. And they are hungry. And then I'm gonna go back in, have my coffee, return some emails, and get some of that stuff done. I just wanted to check. Oh, we got extra kids in here. Whose kids are you taking care of right now? They must have squeezed in through the crack. So here's my little sick guy. Started perking up a little last night. I'll probably tube him again this morning. I tubed him twice yesterday, but he actually, gosh, looks a lot perkier. Before I go back in, I'll see if he nurses. So I don't remember if I talked about it. I put him and his sister in with mom last night, and I actually put the 2 bottle kids in there also because they were bothering me while I was trying to do other stuff. And I thought it would just be 2 more bodies to kind of have those 2 snuggle with and keep them warm. So they got out, but apparently some other ones wanted the warmth from the heat lamp and got in. And I did turn the hot box back on last night. It is cold. I think it's only 12 degrees this morning. Burr. Okay, come on. No. These guys are doing okay on the bucket. They'll stay on for a little while and then they come off, but every time I've fed them, they do better and better. You guys did really good, actually. It's the getting on it that's the hard part. Once you like open their mouth and get them on, they're fine. But like the first day you have to like pry their mouth open to get them on. Now they're at least getting to the point where if you like put their nose to it, they'll get on them. They'll open their mouth and get on themselves. Shut up, you damn chicken. I forgot to close the chickens last night. I turned their light off, but I totally forgot to lock them up, so they all came out early this morning. I usually keep them locked in there till like 11 o'clock, so all my eggs are in the coop. And then I retrieve them and they get to roam for the rest of the day. Oh, good job. Okay. Are you waiting to be fed? I'm not moving fast enough. Okay. Oh my gosh, it is so cold. The wind just cuts through you today. I think it's gonna end up being kind of a long day of just stuff to get done in the house. I have, you know, in addition to the YouTube stuff, I have a farm business I'm running. So I have accounting to do, I have a newsletter to get out. I have to start planning ahead for my greenhouse sale and my plants and get ordering my seeds. So it's not all gonna get done today, but I need to start making a dent in that. It is Thanksgiving week. We actually don't have anything planned for Thanksgiving. If the wind ever stops, maybe we can get metal on that building, but it is so windy. We were hoping to get a few sheets on yesterday before my husband had to leave for work, and we just didn't get ahead of the rain. They had moved it up and it started a little early. Let's check on that little that little kid with the respiratory infection, and we'll see if it can nurse off of its dam now. Can you get up, Mama? Up. Come on, you're supposed to eat this, not dump it out so you can sleep in it. This is for eating, not for sleeping. Okay. Hey, little buddy. So I'm gonna let him kind of keep trying. I mean, he can nurse, but he's not very vigorous. And he keeps... I'll probably let him go till the end of chores, and I'll tube him one last time. This little black one that was in this pen yesterday keeps sneaking. There's a bit of a crack in the gate, so some of the smaller kids can get in and out. And he's like, this is where I was born and this is where the heat lamp is. So he keeps going back to it, which is fine. I mean, I don't care as long as they can get out when they want to. The kids on the bucket drank completely by themselves without me having to put them on. I spent the whole morning dicking around and stringing extension cords everywhere. I have 3 times as many water buckets and containers as I did last year, and now the cattle are way out in a different spot, and so I had to scrounge up enough extension cords with ground prongs on them and tank heaters, and then we use bird bath heaters. So I have to go and finish zip tying them all. I don't typically have a problem with goats chewing on them. I mean, like these, I typically I let hang in there, and then like I'll zip tie this, you know, tight to here so there's no extra slack. But other people I've talked to have endless problems, and I mean, there's a first time for everything, but I really have not had an issue. So hopefully that'll be the case again this year.